going to share a lot of info today. Make sure you send a quick reminder text to any teammate or any friend that you invited on the call to jump on now, because we are going to start this incredible event. So, all right, let me get in here, make sure that we don't have any feedback. Nope, we're good. We don't have any feedback. And then Grace, just give me a thumbs up and let me know that you have seen the uh, the co-host options. I believe you have, because I know you have some slides to share.
I
And
do. Thank you.
okay, and we will go from there. Just give me one moment. Okie dokie. So I apologize, you guys. I'm just making sure the live stream is not going to be getting in the way. And also, my friends, as we go through today, we do have the chat feature below. So let me make sure that you guys all utilize the chat feature as we go throughout this as well. And we are going to dive in. So I'm excited to just really, interview Grace a little bit here and just have her share a little bit more about herself. But before I do, make sure we're all set. Okay, so we are all set. All right. So let me officially introduce you to our speaker. Our next speaker, you guys, she is a six-figure world-class coach who specializes in helping people use major life transitions, like a career shift or personal transformation, as a powerful launch pad to create the life and business they truly want. And Grace Gravestock is the founder of Know Yourself Revolution. So that's KYR, Know Yourself Revolution, where she helps entrepreneurs and professionals like ourselves on this call unlock their unique genius using their own human design energy blueprint. So, with over 20 years of corporate change and communications experience, Grace knows exactly how to make big changes feel easier. And today she's here to show you how understanding your energy blueprint can help you build your business faster, easier, and in a way that's more fun. And her work goes beyond, of course, just traditional coaching, by really helping you tap into your natural strengths and decision-making strategies. And so Grace is going to help us today and help you guys create aligned success without burnout, because I know sometimes we experience that as entrepreneurs, right? Without burnout. And so I'm excited for you guys to really get ready and discover a whole new way to grow your business as you and I both welcome the incredible Grace Gravestock. So hi, Grace, how are you?
Hi, Adrienne. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I'm so excited to meet you and your team. Thank you so much, all of you who are here. And how many of you are, gosh, I wish I would have joined sooner. I probably would have known some of these things. How many of you have ever heard about human design before? Raise your hand if you have. Okay, a couple of you have. Excellent. And how many of you wish that you had a shortcut to make your business grow faster? Raise your hand. Right? Yeah, I think that's probably all of us. Well, I have some amazing information that I think could really make a difference for you. Raise your hand if you know what time you were born. Okay, some of you do. And then raise your hand if you absolutely do not know the time you were born. Okay, one person. Okay, so if you don't, okay, a couple people, Irene, Carmen, I see you. That's okay. So if you don't know, I want you to go ahead and take a guess just for the activity, just for the purposes of the activity today, because I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And you'll be able to see as we go through, I'm kind of going to tell you about each of the types. So let's go ahead and dive in. We have some really fun stuff for you today, and I think it's going to be a real big shortcut for you. So wouldn't it be great if, and I believe we're all here to do this, right? To do exactly what you're here to be and do, like to feel like you're on purpose and make a lot of money, right? Is that you? What if you knew the superpowers that really make you stand out? Why would somebody build their business with you as opposed to someone else? And how can you build that business in a way that's uniquely fun and easy for you? And what if you always knew how to make the best decisions for you? How many of you would love it if you knew exactly what you're hardwired to make decisions, the best decisions, right? So you don't waste time or money. well, wasting time and money. There's no such thing as wasting, but the good news is that it can be fun and easy, and it starts with knowing how you're hardwired. Has anyone ever thought, like, wouldn't it be great if there was an owner's manual for me, right? Like a way to know exactly what the hardwiring is in here to make everything work better. Well, today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your professional type and your what, and that will brings your unique genius, how to use. I'm going to talk about a bunch of your superpowers, but we're going to focus on one per type, and then how to invest your time in what matters while also being of service. Because, we want to be of service. We want to make a difference in the world with our business, with our investments, and we want it to be fun and easy, right? So that's what we're going to get into today. So Adrian told you a little bit about me. I went through a lot of big changes in my life about 9 years ago. I had a big corporate background, and in a short moment, everything shifted. And, I found myself, the ex-husband had a knife to my neck, and I had to leave in a hurry. It put me on a journey to to reassess everything about my life, and that's what led me to this system. My background is as a change manager for large companies and systems and projects, and when I went through a divorce and downsizing and layoff and health crisis in a very short period of time, I I really I was ready to check out because I felt like everything that I had built my life on wasn't what I thought it was anymore. And I felt like I was living a lie. Um, I went through a lot of stuff. How many of you have gone through a lot of stuff in a short period of time? And you're like, is this even possible to get past this? And in that process, I found this system, and it helped me to understand that I'm not broken at all. There's nothing wrong with me, and I'm perfectly designed to be and do what I came here to be and do, and so are you. So that led me to a decision point for how can I apply all the things that I've been helping people with for so many years, to myself, to my own change. And it led me to what I call new ways of living, working, and being. The old ways are in the past. We're in a new time, right? And so things that used to work don't work anymore. And so this is a new way of looking at yourself, a new way of looking at building your business. And so if you're up for that, you're going to see some really amazing things today. We're going to start with this idea that there's no one size fits all. I know we wish that it was, right? We wish we could just hit the easy button and everything would be, we could just follow the step-by-step process that's exactly the same for everyone. Well, the good news is I know from working with Adrienne that she has a step-by-step process, and that step-by-step process works, but how you apply it is going to be different depending on what you bring to the table. And that's really what we're going to get into today. I think I'm missing a slide here about what the website I want you to go to. So I'm going to put it in the chat. Or if you could put it in the chat for me, Adrienne,
Yeah. So what?
HTTPS //
Yes, it's there for everybody
It's
who's
there.
got it. It shows booking, but yeah, go in there and take a look. It's the what'smychart.com is the live link for you to go do that.
There you go. Yeah. So what you do when you get there is you'll put in your as best you have, like the best guess you have for your date of birth, your time of birth, and city of birth. And what that does is it's going to give you a chart, and the whole thing takes less than a minute. It'll spit out a chart, and what you're going to do is use this chart to understand your superpowers as we go through the 5 types. There's 5 professional types. So we're going to talk about how you have certain superpowers and how you're uniquely hardwired for success to build your business fast and easy, and let's just make it fun, right? So raise your hand if you have any problems with that, because I want everyone to be able to get that. I'm looking at the screen. It looks like everybody's got it. Okay, great. Okay, so there are 5 types that yours might be when you run your report, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about each of the types. There's a lot of information here. What I want you to get is that the way you're hardwired actually determines so much about how you see the world and how others see you. So let's just get right into it. How do you best express yourself in the world? There's 5 types, and you are in one of these categories. So, how many people here are either a builder or an express builder? I just realized this is an old slide. Um, raise your hand if you're a builder or an express builder. Well, maybe you don't know yet. Let me tell you what this means. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. If you are a builder type, you are part of about 33% of the population, and you have a superpower. And that superpower is like the Energizer Bunny. It means you have access to this energy that when you're doing what you love, you literally have unlimited energy. So if I were to call you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, Adrian, what are you doing? You're still up. What are you doing? What are you so excited about that you're still up, even though we got to get up early in the morning and go to this thing? And Adrian might say, I just love talking to people. I love helping people make money. And so, no, because I've talked to Adrienne, I know this is really her. And I know that this is one of her superpowers. And she is a builder and she has unlimited energy for the things that she finds satisfying. And so, if you're like her, your superpower is that. And the key is, what are you doing that brings you satisfaction? What are the aspects of this business that you can tap into that really bring you joy? Here's a lot of it, probably too much information about you if you are this builder type. You're meant to follow the process. So people like Adrienne is this type, and she's amazing. She follows the process, and when she follows the process, like she can make you have success beyond your dreams because she's able to help you follow a particular process, and that is one of her superpowers. So if you're this type, put builder in the chat if you are a builder too. I'm looking at the chat to see who we got here. Marie says, I know I was born early, but not the time. That's okay, Marie. Just take a guess. Take a guess. I'm just looking to see what we got. Okay. My chart says I'm a builder. Okay, George, good. You're a builder. Marie says builder. Nicole says builder. George, builder. Windsor, builder. Laura, builder. Awesome. Okay, so we got some builders in the house. So if you're a builder, then what you need to know is that your superpower is to actually follow the process. Just follow the process exactly as Adrienne tells you, and you will be successful. And you are going to have an easy time following that process, probably. But there are going to be things that may not be your biggest strengths. And in that case, you're going to outsource those things. What does that mean? That means leaning on the team. Adrienne's got you with support and helping you to find the resources that can fill in for the gaps that you might feel in your skills. So that's a little bit about the builder types. The next type is the type I am, which is an express builder. And express builders are really good at finding shortcuts. We're always looking for the most efficient way. And so if we're trying to find a path to get to this new restaurant, or you're trying to find a way to build your business faster, you're probably really, this might be your type. So how many of you put express builder in the chat if you are an express builder? Express builder. Okay, I see Craig is. Is Craig the only express builder? Is anybody else an express builder here? Okay, Craig is, the link, Joanne, is, I'm gonna put it in here too again. What's my chart.com? There you go. Yeah, okay, so Craig, it might be Craig and I are the only okay, Rosemary is an express builder. Awesome. Okay, and there might be some more. Good, Rosemary is. Okay, and George is too. Awesome. Okay, so if you are an express builder, these are other words that might resonate with you. There's a lot of different systems out there, and there's a lot of different versions of this information. So I'm putting other words that up at the top to kind of give you a sense for what your energy is about. And so if you are like me or an express builder, your superpower is to find shortcuts. And so what you're going to find that you do is you're great at just pushing through for a time, and then you need to take a break. And your energy is a little bit more variable. It's kind of like kind of like go stop sometimes. You can be seen as flaky because you do shift really fast. And sometimes, if you've committed to something and then you change your mind, people don't like that. But the fact is, sometimes that's what's best for you is to shift and to shift fast. So finding those shortcuts and shifting fast are kind of the superpower hallmarks of this type, the express builders. So if you're an express builder, one of the ways you want to build your business is to work closely with Adrienne and her team and ask, what are the shortcuts I can take? And then what are the things that I really absolutely can't skip? And if I want to skip them, like how can you help me not skip them? Because I know from building businesses like the one that we're all here talking about today, that my tendency is to want to skip steps. And if you are an express builder, there's things that you may not like to do and you're going to want to skip them. And the fact is, what I have learned the hard way is that if we skip steps, like there's certain steps we can skip and there's certain steps we can't. And so working with a team is where this really becomes genius because then and working with a coach like Adrienne, working with a coach like me who can help you see what it is that you're skipping that's holding you back from really building the business of your dream. That's really significant. So if you're an express builder, you are going to want to take shortcuts, and sometimes those are going to be great, and sometimes you're going to have to go back and fill in the gaps that you skipped the first time. There's another type called an orchestrator. Do we have any orchestrators in the house? Put orchestrator in. Amy says, is that the same as the manifesting generator? Yes, yes. Express builder is. And Amy is, are you an orchestrator, Amy? Is that? Okay, who else is an orchestrator here? Any orchestrators in the house? I see, Nina, you're an initiator. We'll get to you in just a second. Okay, Amy says orchestrator, projector. Yes. Bonnie is an orchestrator. Beata is an orchestrator. Awesome. Carter is an orchestrator. Okay, so if you're an orchestrator, this is what you'll notice. You're not like everybody else, and you don't fit in, and you've never fit in, and that's okay. What you are really good at is guiding the energy, and that's why this says energy management. So if you're an orchestrator type, kind of like an orchestra, conductor, your best role, it's not that you can't do the other things, but your best role is to have a team and build a team. And so using the framework of three that Adrienne has for you is amazing because you can build a team that actually does all the things that need to happen. And you're working together as an orchestrator. You are the one that can tell. You have a superpower of being able to see into others and know what their abilities are and be able to guide that energy to be more effective. There's a lot more behind why you're able to do that. This little image here on the bottom right represents on an energetic level, like the way that you're hardwired to see the world in a different way. Also the way that you're hardwired to be able to see into people. Like this type, if you're an orchestrator, you're amazing and you've never fit in and you probably won't ever fit in because you're not meant to. You're meant to guide the energy of all these builder types. We builder types make up 70% of the world, and we're the ones that are meant to do. But your superpower, if you're an orchestrator, is to be. You're meant to help us know the value of just being. And in the being, that's where we can actually do more. This is one of the lessons that I'm learning. So if you're an orchestrator, you're here to be a guide, you're here to orchestrate the energy of the team, and you're going to work best in a team. So building out your team, like Adrienne is recommending, is going to really benefit you because if you try to do everything yourself, you're going to get burned out really fast because you're not configured to do that like most people are. Now, if you're an initiator, you're in a very small subset. Just 8% of people are like that. I know we had a couple. Yeah, Amy says I never fit in. That's totally true, Amy. Yeah, we could have a conversation more about that. I find that Orchestrators, some people know them as projectors. They find the most value from this system because finally, for the first time, you would understand, if you haven't already, Amy, like what you're here for and how you're different and why you're so different. There's nothing wrong with you. So let's see. Any other initiators here? I thought I saw some. Okay, Frank. Frank is an initiator. Nana is an initiator. Okay, George, you said you seem to be both. You might be both, you might be an express builder, or you might, I don't know, we could talk about that. Any other initiators in the house? It's a very small small percentage, 8%, 8 to 9% are initiators. So in traditional human design, these are called manifestors. The reason I changed the language is because people were getting so confused, and after studying this for 9 years, teaching it for 9 years, and literally looking at more than 2,000 charts for people, what people would say to me is, it's just too confusing. All this language is too confusing. I don't have time for this. Like, I just want to know what I need to know for me. And so that is why I use this language that I think is simpler. And I've put the other words in case you have a background in it, so you can follow along and understand more about yourself. So we do have a few initiators in the house, so I'm going to go through this quick. Initiators are the only ones that are hardwired to be able to easily just pick up the phone and call a stranger. Like, cold calling is your jam, and it is your superpower. You're good at starting things, and you're meant to just jump in and follow the energy that you feel, to just go do it, to create, to start new things. Like, that's what you're literally here for. I have a niece that's like this, and it's amazing to see her. So if you're an initiator, you're also called an innovator or a manifester. You're a natural for sales. So if you're this type, then you're very charismatic. You have an energy around you that makes people just want to get going. And that's really powerful. What you might notice, and you'll see this little image here, it represents, there's so much information that I want to just give you kind of a snapshot about, and we could talk about more if this resonates with you. I am going to offer you the opportunity to work together in a few minutes if you wanted to go deeper. But what I want you to see about this image here at the bottom is that this type initiators, and if you have somebody in your family like this is a way to understand why they are like they are. They kind of have a space bubble around them, and it feels like people are kind of afraid to get too close. And the reason for that is because they need space. If you're this type, you need space to create. And so you actually have an energetic bubble around you that keeps people a little bit at length. And the reason is for that is so that you get to say, you, Adrian, I want you on my team, or you, Paula, I want you on my team, and so you are the one that gets to choose who gets to come close to you. Because you're an initiator. So your energy is naturally the one that would, if we were on a date, the initiator, whether male or female, would ideally be the one that asks the other person out, because regardless of what sex they are, because their energy is for that. They're here to start new things. They're really great for innovation, getting things going. They're not so good at operations. So if this is your type, I know there are a couple in here. Let's see, I'm looking to see who it was. So Dix, yeah, Dix is an initiator. So Dix, you'll want to have people on your team that you can direct their energy and kind of tell them what to do. Literally, that is, you have what we call a motor to your throat. That's what this little image down here shows. It's very powerful, and your superpower is to be able to direct people, tell them what to do and where to go and how to be effective and efficient. So each type has a superpower, and each type is special. And what this really shows is how, when we work together, we can really make a big difference in team. And that's really how we're going to build big businesses, is using the power of team. And so what I want you to see today is that each person plays a special role, and they have superpowers that they bring that may be different than yours, and that's great, and that's what you want. You want other people on your team that have different abilities than you do. Do we have any analysts in the house? This is a very small percentage of people, just 1%. Is there anyone that is this type? Tracy says, how close is this chart without my TOB, which isn't on my birth? Oh, time of birth. Just take a guess, Tracy. If you want to know, I'm going to give you the link to schedule time with me, and we can go through a process to figure out exactly what time you were born. But for now, just take a guess if you haven't already. Okay, Irene says yes. Irene, does that mean that you are an analyst? This is just 1%. So I'm going to skim through. If there's nobody here that is, I'm going to just go through it really fast. So this type is very special, and the role that they play is kind of like the canary in the coal mine. And if you have an analyst on your team, in traditional human design, this is called a reflector. They're just 1% of the population. So they're very, very, very sensitive. They can read people's energy. My sister is like this. They have all these in their energy field. They have what we call receiving dishes. So they're picking up incredible amounts of information about other people, and so that can be really fatiguing. They're amazing. They are really playing a role. They're meant to play a role in a group, in a team, and in a community. So if you have somebody that's this type, calibrator, on your team, they're going to be able to help you in ways that nobody else will. They're pretty special. So here's the shortcut. Now that you know, is there anybody that doesn't know your time? Yeah, sometimes it's draining, Irene says. Oh, okay. So Irene, are you that type? Are you the analyst type? I can't hear you, so I'm gonna guess
Oh, there you
that's
go.
yes.
I,
There.
yeah, I feel like I'm a couple of types because I know I have built big organizations in the past,
Mhm.
and I think we all have challenges in life and so forth, but that's where my heart is I want to share like with everybody, but I do
Mhm.
have quite a sensitivity to those around me. And I'll tell you right now, you said something at the beginning about teenagers. Holy cow. I teach art right now, and to teenagers. It's like I can feel everybody's energy. And when you have 38 of them in a classroom, that's a lot going on.
Yeah. That is a
Does
lot.
that make
38
sense?
in a
Yeah, yeah.
classroom. Wow, that
And
sounds
trying to give
crazy.
everybody individual attention. Yeah. And then teenagers being who they are.
Wow,
So
that sounds challenging. Well, you brought up a really good point, and I'm glad you said it. If you feel like you're more than one of these types, we all have all of them. We all are a little bit of each of them. And so if you feel like you're more than one, I mean, that's okay. The fact is, if we were to do a deeper dive, and which we can do, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But what I want you to see is that we all have all of these, a little bit of each of these in us. And what benefits us is to know which one is our predominant one, because then we can identify our superpowers, and we can use those superpowers to build our businesses in a way that's fun and easy. Like, that's the point. So if you wanted to go deeper, we absolutely can. I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a minute. And I want to say that we all have, a little bit of each of these in us. And so it's part of the journey is understanding who we really are and how we use the superpowers that we have. So, what results can you get from working with me? I know that this idea of whether you're broken or what not broken, I know that doesn't resonate with everybody. That was just my particular thing. I felt like I was broken because frankly, I was married to somebody who told me for 15 years that I was, and I believed him. So, that may or may not resonate with you, but the thing is, what I do want you to understand is that you're perfect the way you are. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. And I can show you why that's true in your chart, in your configuration. I want you to know that it's possible to know what it means to live in alignment with your design. If you come from a Christian background, like me, my name is Grace. My sisters are Faith, Hope, and Joy. My mom, my mom and dad were really religious, and so I always wondered. I always felt like there was a purpose for me, and that my mom would say, "God has a purpose for you," and I felt that that was true, but I didn't know what it was. And so it was when I learned this system that I realized that it was possible to see that there's a map of my life, a map of my purpose, a map of my abilities. And that's why I got so excited about this system, and I dove in and I decided I have to share this with other people who want this information because it's powerful and life-changing. And as soon as I stopped giving away my power, I suddenly had more energy. I kept hearing these words. People would say, stand in your power. Well, what the heck does that mean? Well, it means stop giving it away. It means holding on to it and carrying, learning how to be the fullest expression of you possible. And I didn't know how to do that before I found this system. Another thing is choose. You see on this slide, choose what affects you. One of the biggest benefits that I've had from understanding myself is to be able to understand or to choose when circumstances change around me, how to deal with that, how to accept that, how to roll with it so that it doesn't knock me out. And I feel like that is one of the biggest benefits that I've learned how to do and that I can help you do is to no longer be subject to external influences. Because when you know who you are and you love who you are, then you can trust yourself. You can trust your intuition, you can trust your ways of being, and you can know that everything's in alignment and you don't have to feel stressed and anxious anymore. And you can feel into, your life purpose themes. If you're interested in going into that, what are you here for? What is the purpose, the deeper purpose for your life? Like there's a lot we can talk about. So what I'm offering you is the opportunity to do an online course. There is I was just trying to check this link. I'm not sure if this link will work. I'm going to so if anyone tries this and it doesn't work, I'm going to put the other link in the chat. I was trying to get the right image right before we started. Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. Let me just tell you how you can work with me if you wanted to go deeper. There's a couple options. When you join the online course, whether you do the DIY version, which is $199, or you do the group coaching program, which is $1,999. Either way, you can go through the information about yourself. There's a detailed report that you're going to get. You're going to be able to build your business based on your unique strengths. And that is about 2 months. Sometimes we go a little bit longer if people need it. But so that's an option. You can also work with me over 10 weeks, and we can deep dive into your particular configuration and build your business specifically, like if you want one-on-one coaching, or I also offer a 6-month mentorship. So what I would encourage you to do is if you're interested in any of those things, go to askgrace.info, and this is where you can see what the options are. And if you're not sure, if you're interested in any of the things that I've talked about, just pick Quick Call. And that's a 15-minute free call, and we can talk about what would serve you the best. But the opportunity here is for you to, maybe you're just ready for a taster. You just want to know, okay, well, there's something to this. Maybe I do want to learn a little bit, but I'm not ready to dive in. So, there's a mini reading in there, and one of the options, we can do a couple sessions as a deep dive, or if you want to talk about working together either in the course or in a longer way, just pick a quick call and we'll have a conversation. Because ultimately, my intention for you in helping you build your business is to use the natural strengths that you have and stop trying to be like someone else, because that was what I learned the hard way. I tried so hard to actually, in my case, I was living the life that my husband at the time wanted. for me. And there was, there was a lot of things that worked about it. I mean, he did help me to get into Deloitte, and I had some great experiences in the corporate world. But what I realized is that that was not the life that I wanted. That was the life that he wanted for me. And so if you feel the tug of this, like you would like to know what your chart means, like what you're uniquely configured to be and do, and you want to build your business based on that, in alignment with your purpose, that's what I can help you with. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put in the chat the link for askgrace.info. Thank you, George. And then if you just know for sure that you just want to have a conversation, maybe you want to check your birth time or whatever, just go ahead and pick the quick call, because that'll just be a 15-minute call, and we can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about, whatever your question is. So I think we have a little bit of time for questions. Does anybody have a question based on anything that I've shared today?
Well,
or
I do a
anything
little bit, because I know that you've helped like countless clients really transform their business through coaching. Could you maybe share with everyone like a powerful story of like how understanding their energy blueprint maybe led to a breakthrough in network marketing success?
Absolutely. Yeah. One of my clients, his name is, I was talking to Adrian about him, Artemis. And so he had a network marketing business, and he had a reading with me. He was just about to do an ad campaign because he really wanted to grow his business bigger, and he was doing pretty well. We had a reading, and his chart is actually similar to Adrian's. And so we were talking about this, and because of the reading, he took a referral strategy for his business, and instead of buying ads, he did a whole campaign about bring a friend into the business, and he really focused on referrals. And because of his unique chart, there was an element that is similar to Adrian's, and so he took this referral strategy, and boom, his business boomed. Like right before we had the reading, he was about to launch this ad campaign. And because of the reading, he took a different strategy, took this referral strategy, and his business boomed. So he's the only other person besides Adrian that I know that has made more than 20,000 a month in a business like this. And he was doing it here in Austin. Adrian and I are both in Austin. So he's a friend that I know personally. And this is what he did. He took this information that I'm offering you, and he saved himself the time and money of an ad campaign, which would have been what he was being told would work for him. An ad campaign would work for somebody like me with my configuration, because I'm here to be a stranger of consequence. But for him, he is here for his people, just as Adrian is. She's here for her network, her people, all the people that feel that she's connected to in some way, shape, or form. So I really encouraged her when we spoke and looked at her chart to focus on that referral strategy, because if you have a 4 in your, maybe some of you here have this, if there's 2 numbers that you would have got on your chart, and if 4 is one of them, then you will want to take a referral strategy, because that is really going to benefit you. When you have a 4 in your configuration as your profile, one of your profile numbers, what it means is you're here to serve your people. And your people are all the people that are connected to you in some way, shape, or form. So, if you have a network through your, like a church or a civic organization or social groups, or maybe from college or university or from high school, whatever it is, like your network is where all the benefits, all the most important people and resources are going to come for you. They're going to come through your network. So is anybody here else have a 4 in your profile? If you look on your chart, there's 2 numbers. Does anybody else have a 4? Tracy, are you raising your hand? Okay, Bonnie says she has a 4. Great. So, yeah, Rosemary, I could explain about environment. Just one other thing. So how many of you have a 5? Okay, Rosemary has a 4. Great. Anyone else? Anyone here have a 5? Okay, Amy has a 5. So, is there any other 5s? Raise your hand. What on the chart, where on the chart is the number? The number is, let's see, I think it's on page 2. It's under your, I think it's called your professional profile. I just changed the chart. Anyway, there's two numbers that go together, and it will say problem solver with the 5. Bottom of the chart, George says. Excellent. Thanks, George. So anyway, if you do have a 5, somebody just said they have a 5. Okay, Melissa has a 4. Okay, so if you have a 4, Bonnie has a 4. Rosemary has a 4. Yeah, if you have a 4, then you really want, Carter has a 4. Okay, good. So the 4 is you really want to use a referral strategy. Like this one thing could be the difference for you. I mean, for my friend Artemis, boom, he went to 20,000 a month in passive income just like that when he used this referral strategy. Okay, Christina has a 5 and a 1. Okay, great. So I'm also a 5 line. So good. I just wanted to use this as an example to give you contrast. So if you're a 4 line, you're here for your people. If you're a 5 line, you're a stranger of consequence, it's called. And so you're kind of a general in time of trouble. Okay, and Laura's got the 6. We'll talk about that in just a second, Laura. So if you're a 5 line, you're a stranger of consequence, and an ad strategy could be really good for you because it means that you're going to be a stranger of consequence, and you're going to have a huge impact on people's lives that you may not even ever personally meet. Like imagine when your business gets so big that you can't possibly know everybody in your downline. Like that's very possible for everyone here, and especially for 5 lines. If you were going to build your business, you could use an ad strategy. I mean, obviously there's logical things like you want to make sure you're ready for it, and you'd want to work with Adrian to make sure that you're set up for success with that. But I just mean generally speaking, as a strategy, the ad strategy could really work well for a 5 line, whereas it wouldn't work as well for a 4 line. Does that mean if Adrian did an ad campaign that she couldn't be successful? No, but it means that she'd be probably way more successful if she used referral strategy. So, okay, good. That's right. Yeah, Adrian is a 1-4 and Craig is a 1-4. Wow, look at that. That's nice. So Laura asked about the 6 line. She is a mentor talented. So if you're a mentor, that means you're a role model, and it means that you're also going to have 3 very distinct phases in your life. So Laura, let's see, I can't see you on the screen. So I'm going to just tell you this. Is there anybody else that has a 6 line? Okay, good. Nana is a 6. Okay, Laura, there you are. Hi, Laura. So if you're a 6 line, what it means is you're going to have 3 very distinct phases in your life. And this also is going to apply to your business. So 0 to 30, 30 to 50, and then 50 plus. And so when you're in that, when you're in the different phases, you're going to have different amounts of energy. Laura, when you get to 50, you're going to have a big push, a big burst of energy, and you're going to find that your life kind of shifts, and it's almost like how cats have 9 lives. If you have a 6 line, if you're a mentor, if your chart says mentor, you're going to find that you have a burst of energy right around the time when you hit 50, and you will have been there and done that on just about everything by that time in your life. It's one of the ways that you can understand why so many crazy things have happened in your life. Like every 6 line that I've ever worked with tells me, oh, okay, Laura's a 6-3, great. Every 6 line says, oh my gosh, like I have done so many things in my life, like not just one thing, like everything. And there's a reason for that, because if you're a 6 line and you're here to be a mentor, you're here to be a role model to others. And the fact that you have been there and done that on just about everything by the time you hit 50, it qualifies you in a way like no other to be able to have been there and done that on everything. So you're able to guide. So when you invite people into your team, you now, especially when you're a role model, can whatever they say, I'm having this problem or that problem. You're like, I get you. I've been there, and you probably have, like in a very literal way. Now I see Bonnie. Bonnie says she's a 2-4. So I want to say something about 2-4s. Is there any other 2-4s in the house? I think you might be the only one, Bonnie. So if you're a
I am too,
2-4,
sorry. I'm Melissa.
Oh,
Sorry, I'll put it
oh,
in the
Melissa.
chat.
Okay, there you are, Melissa. Great. If you're a 2-4, here's what's amazing about you for building your business. 2-4s are the most appealing to everybody types. So it means if you're a 2-4 that you're going to find that you appeal to a lot of people. And, whether that means people that want to be in your business, people that want to be partners with you in some way, shape, or form. If you're single and you want to date, like you have the most potential partners that are going to resonate with you because 2-4s are a type that are very easy. Usually they're very easygoing. They're very social and they are just very likable usually. So know that if you're a 2-4, know that you can build your business around that. I see a couple 6-2s, so I'm going to speak to that. So the 6-2s, again, when you're 6-2, it means you're a role model mentor. It means you are here to have been there and done that on just about everything by the time you're 50. And if you're younger than 50, you're going to go through some different stages that are going to help you have a lot of variety in your life so that you can eventually have been there and done that on just about everything by the time you hit 50. If you're any of the 2s, the 2 lines, here's what you need to know about building your business as a 2 line. When you have a 2 in your profile, it means that you need some integration time. It means you have a hermit energy and you need to have your own space. So let's say you go to an amazing event with Adrian and you learn about 3 and how to build your business. You want to schedule some time after that event to just integrate that information. Like give yourself some time. How much time depends on you. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week. Like you will need some time to integrate all that new information so that you can actually absorb it and use it. Because 2 lines are kind of like hermits, like in the like if you think of, I don't know if you've ever heard of like the monks, the monks are hermits. And what they do is they go sit in the cave for a while. And, nobody knows what they're really doing in the cave or why they're in the cave, but they need to be in the cave to integrate all the things that they've learned and to process and internalize them. And they just need time. They need time alone. So if you have a 2 in your chart, then it means that you need to give yourself some time and have some patience and have some alone time. That means alone time. So make sure if you have an office, like I have a home office, I'm a 5-2, and so I really like it when my partner goes and works somewhere else for a while, and I have the room to myself. I have the house to myself. I like having that space because being a 2 line, it means that we get to have time to integrate, and that's going to support us building our business faster. Yeah, Laura. So 2 doesn't necessarily mean introvert or extrovert. I know a lot of 2 lines that are actually pretty extroverted, but they think of themselves as introverts. I wouldn't say it's the same thing as introvert extrovert, but what it does mean is you need some alone time. So Adrian says, what does the right angle cross 916 and 4037 mean? Yeah, good question, Adrian. So those are what I call your purpose codes, grand purpose codes. So on the website, you'll see when you try to leave, there's a little pop-up and it offers you for $7. You can find that out, what that is. But really, I have a whole program around that. Like what it really means is it's those 4 codes make up 70% of what you're uniquely here to be and do. And so what it means is patterns. There's patterns around your life. I used to be married, and the ex-husband would actually bring this up quite a bit, like, oh, you have all these patterns in your life, and it's always the same thing over and over and over, and like there was something wrong with me. What I learned is there's nothing wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with you to have these patterns in your life. What it actually means is you're here to master these patterns. So in my case, it was about my patterns are mine is called right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix, which has to do with looking for love in all the wrong places. Earlier in my life, that's what I did. When I learned this, I was kind of depressed. It made me cry for a couple years. When I thought about it, because I would read the description of it and I would just be like, what, am I destined to look for love in all the wrong places? Like, how come I can't figure it out? How come I can't have good relationships? What I learned is that looking for love in all the wrong places has so many many meanings. And so what I realized is that it was about looking for love and acceptance and validation outside of myself. So that's what looking for love in all the wrong places meant. And so as long as I was looking for anywhere else that wasn't, here, I was not going to be finding it. And it was very frustrating. And so that pattern has really characterized my entire life. So that's an example of what those codes mean, Adrian. And if we work together, we can go into a lot more detail about that. That is one of, in fact, there's a Activate Your Life Purpose package in that link that we put out there at askgrace.info. And that Activate Your Life Purpose package, it's 2 1-hour sessions. So we'd really go deep. So in the first hour, we're going to look at the 30% of what does it mean to be yourself? Like it's like a deep dive on your chart. Like what does it mean to be whatever you are, a builder, express builder, initiator, and all the other things. There's a lot of information on there, but it's about being in alignment. Kind of like, have you ever gone to a chiropractor? Has anyone here ever been to a chiropractor? Raise your hand. Yeah, some of you have. So when you go to the chiropractor, you have to lay down on that table. You have to lay down on the table so they can adjust you, right? Everything has to be lined up. If you're not laying on the table and they can't line up everything to be able to adjust you, you can't get the adjustment. Well, it's the same way with your life purpose, your path, and that your codes, the codes that you carry. So those 4 numbers that Adrian asked about, excuse me, they make up 70% of what you are uniquely hardwired to be and do. But you can't step into them until you're in alignment. So it's kind of like laying on the table at the chiropractor's office. You're lined up so that now you can get the adjustment. Similarly, when you understand who you are, and you're not trying to live someone else's life as I was, you can then step into the superpowers. Here's another way to look at it. Has anyone here watched that movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark? Where yeah, some of you have. And when he finally gets there and he sees the code and it lines, everything lines up and there's like light and it's very specific how it lines up so that the code, the thing is unlocked and he gets the treasure. It's very specific because he had to line everything up, the light and everything else in the same way. When you know who you are and you are lined up with who you really are, you're not trying to be somebody else, that's when you can unlock those 4 codes that you're asking about, Adrian. And so those 4 codes, they make up the biggest patterns in your life. And it's really interesting to know. I used to not believe any of this. I was like, that just sounds like a bunch of BS. It's just a bunch of woo-woo. But the more I studied it, I've been studying it for 9 years. I stopped counting at 2,000 charts. I've looked at a lot of people's charts and I've talked to a lot of people about their unique genius. And I've come to believe that, and this isn't just me, this is a bigger system, like hundreds of thousands, millions of people have done this. So it's not just me, it's not my system, but it's a system that I use to help people step into their power and build their business in a way that's aligned with their energy. Anyway, yeah, thank you for being here, Laura. I look forward to meeting you if any of this resonates. Thanks, Adrian. I appreciate you putting the links in the chat. Does anybody have any other questions that we haven't covered yet?
I was just going to say, for the sake of time, real quick, at a minimum, I would definitely activate the life purpose so that, because I'm like at this point where I'm like, okay, I've talked to Grace a lot and I still need her. Like I need her help in understanding what this means to help me better understand my purpose and how I can move forward. So I put 2 links in there and you can, put your fingers up or whatever. I would say you're a 1, a 2, or 3. So the 1 is I'm going to activate my life purpose today. I'm going to take the test. I'm going to work with Grace. It's $77 to do that. The second one is the 197, the group coaching, but the full package to really understand how you can implement this and maybe stop and recognize like the patterns that you have by working with Grace can be like expanded exponentially for you to have a bigger, fuller business, especially in 3. Definitely worth it. Remember, this would be a write-off, right? Because this is self-education, it's purpose, it's helping you plan your purpose for your 3 business. So if you decide to do the deeper coaching, the 1,997, she does have payment options on there. So I just wanted to throw that out there. She has payment options on there if you guys want to use that and start implementing it. If you felt valued the way that I felt valued today and really understanding my unique brain patterns, my energetic behaviors, and what would help me be best practices for my life and my 3 business, then I would be doing that. So decide if you're a 1, a 2, or a 3. And I put the links in there, and then we'll go from there. So I just wanted to put a plug in real quick because I know Grace is like, that is there. I wanted to make sure you had the separate links just a little bit more clearly so you guys can make a decision about that today. All right, go ahead, Grace. Is anything else
Thank you.
you want to add?
Yeah, thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate you doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Anyone else have any questions about anything we've talked about?
I've
Hey,
got
Craig.
one.
Mhm.
That's Craig. How aligned is this? Because some people believe, some people don't, with your astrology and those energies.
Yeah, this system it incorporates astrology. It also incorporates 6 other. So it's based on 7 ancient system, and it does include astrology. So when you look at the chart, like that's why if you're into astrology, you'll recognize some of the astrological signs in it. What that is the patterns for if you've ever heard the Bible story of baby Jesus, why did the wise men find Jesus? How did they know how to find him? Because they were looking at the stars. So these systems have been used for thousands and thousands of years because they work. And so this system, human design, incorporates all the astrology, but it also incorporates other systems. So it's Eastern, Western, and Vedic astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Judaic Kabbalah, quantum physics, and the Hindu Brahman chakra system all rolled into one. So it's the most specific, precise personality assessment tool available. And it goes even deeper than like Myers-Briggs and Strengths Finders because there's so many levels and layers of information. And so if you're curious, I'd be happy to prove it to you and show you if you feel like you need that. So if you're uncertain, check out schedule time for the quick call because I can answer any other questions that you have. Does that help, Craig?
It does, yeah, because I've studied Buddhism and Kabbalah too, so there's similarities in different ways and everything, but it's all connected by numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's mathematical. It's very mathematical. So Rosemary says, still curious about the environment component. Yes, Rosemary, if you are interested in just that, what I can say about that is this. So you're hardwired to work best in a certain kind of environment. And on your chart, there's one of 6 environments. And I actually have let me see if I can pull up the link real quick. I do have a short little, I mean, it's like just a couple bucks. Trying to, yeah, so it's only, I forgot to upgrade the price here, so it's only $22. But if you wanted to just explore that, you could get your environment report and you would get a series of emails that would help you unpack it. What it really is it's a piece of your configuration that helps you to know how to best set up your life. Like the reason I built a report around it and an email sequence was because what I noticed is in my community, a lot of people were starting to give up their homes and they wanted to live like, just kind of not couch surf, but kind of live more mobily. And they weren't sure where to travel. Like once you get to that point in your life where you can live anywhere, like where do you live? So when you understand your environment, it literally can save you like untold amounts of money and time finding a place to live or travel. Or even just setting up your work environment, your home office, in a way that supports your natural energy. And so that's what that's about. Any other questions? Someone asked for the second to the last slide. Yeah, I can share that real quick. Here it is. Thank you so much, Adrian, for letting me be on here to talk to your people. I'm really excited about working with you. And yeah, here's the options, and Adrian put the links in the chat. I think this is what you were looking for, is it? Whoever asked for this? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can if you get the online course, then you'll work through your unique career roadmap on your own with videos and stuff, and you'll get a bonus 15-minute mini reading from me to answer any questions and get you started. There's the group coaching with the online course where you're with other people who are also building their business together. And then there's the one-on-one if you want personalized, like just walk me through this. I want to build my business one-on-one. 10 sessions, and then there's a 6-month mentorship. So those are the options that we can talk about the details if you schedule time. So I want to honor your time. We're right at 12:01. So thank you again, Adrienne. I appreciate you so much, and it's good to meet you all. I look forward to talking to anyone here that wants to go deeper with me.
Awesome, Grace. That was amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you for being on, everyone. I really appreciate it. You're here on a Saturday, learning a little something different. And I wanted to bring this piece in here too, because, you know, as somebody who's been in network marketing for 20 years, I've hired a lot of mentors and coaches, and none of them have brain mapped me and said, okay, let's try this. Okay. So I think that is pretty unique in that sense, and worth every penny for you guys to do any type of coaching that Grace has offered, and help you open up that roadmap a little bit better for creating a better path to success in your business. And so that's why we had her on today. And so I just want to thank you for being on, Grace, and providing max value. There's a lot of coaches, like I said, you could be working with out there. You know, we see it all the time on Instagram, and everybody, you know, claiming that they're going to help us bring 1,000 new leads into our business. And you find out that this is super intense course, but how are you going to work that course? And that's one thing I love about Grace, is what she's saying is, why don't we help you understand yourself better so that you're not out there wasting, you know, money or time on things that might not be within your wheelhouse to go implement anyway, or of service to you. So that's the way that I saw it. And that's why I wanted to share this with you guys today. So it's super powerful. Definitely take a look into it. Yes, it's been amazing information and insights. I love all that it entails. I feel like it is the most complete form of coaching I've seen, where it's pulling in all the pieces of the things that we might look for to try to find a more sense of purpose and sense of self within 3 business. Because remember, as entrepreneurs, you solve problems for a profit, right? And so what happens is we always are selling ourselves first. We have to get our head on straight first. And so that's one reason why I really appreciate the way that this is put together. So we're able to do that better and be more effective and proactive in our businesses on a daily basis. So, I mean, I'm telling you, I've coached with I'm saying it. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on coaching before, and never have I seen more of a better approach to being able to help you understand yourself so you can go out there and really build a big network and a big business. All right, my friends, click on the links, definitely order. I'm excited to hear who is going to be moving forward with Grace and I hope you guys have a beautiful Saturday. As a reminder, get out there. We've got all the new info from earlier today. Make sure you guys share that with your team, and we'll keep moving forward. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, Adrienne. Thanks, Frida. Wow, great comments in the chat. Thanks.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's cool, Frida. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.